What's up, baddies? Welcome to the Chatty Baddies podcast, where no topic's off limits. We're bringing you the tea on relationships, sports, motherhood, mental health, pop culture chaos, and everything in between. Whether you're navigating life after a heartbreak, crushing your wellness goals, or just here for the juicy celeb mess, we've got you. So grab your coffee or a harder drink, pop in those headphones, and get ready for some real talk. This is Chatty Baddies. What's up, baddies? Welcome to the show. I'm Nikki.
I'm Nicole.
And we are the Chatty Baddies. And today we have a guest who is a woman who embodies strength, resilience, and her story will leave you absolutely speechless. Jess Goodine is not just a mother. She is a fierce advocate, a fighter, and honestly a living testimony of what it means to hold on to hope when life brings you unimaginable pain. Mom and dad were ready to welcome their triplets, but what followed was a journey filled with the highest peaks of anticipation to the deepest levels of grief. 174 days in the NICU, the loss of two precious sons, multiple surgeries for their son Owen before the age of 4, and then the crushing blow of childhood cancer. Yet through it all, Jess has stood the storm and never backed down as Owen's #1 advocate. And today she shares her family's remarkable story of love, loss, resilience, and the fight to keep moving forward when the odds say otherwise. Jess, thank you for being here. Thank you for choosing the Chatty Baddies to share your story, and welcome to the show.
Thanks so much for having me, and I'm so honored to share my story, especially this month during September's NICU Awareness Month and Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. But I am so honored. You guys are awesome and so much fun to listen to. So I'm so honored for this opportunity.
Thank you. Well, Jessica, can you take us back to that moment when you first learned you were pregnant with triplets? And then at what point during the pregnancy did you feel like things took a difficult turn?
Yeah, so I would say, the moment we found out we were pregnant with triplets, I'm not sure what anyone would do other than have a jaw drop. Matt was ecstatic from the moment we heard the news, and I was terrified from the moment we heard the news, simply because I'd never had a pregnancy before, and we were in a fertility clinic where the doctor was telling us that everything was going to go wrong because my body wasn't supposed to carry 3 babies, and it was absolutely terrifying. But we embraced it, and we fell in love with all 3 boys. We found out there were boys along the way, and found out I was a boy mom through and through, and embraced it, fell in love with all 3 of them until about week 20. We were about to, Matt was getting out of the military, and we were about to have a big life transition, and we wanted to have our last appointment with our doctor, and she told us that our boys are in imminent danger at that time. So they were going to come early no matter what, and that this is 20 weeks. They're not even viable yet, and we were in for a NICU stay no matter where we were. And pretty much the worst case scenario that we were fearing from the very beginning was about to happen for us.
Wow. Well, when you spoke of the NICU, what does 174 days in the NICU look like and feel like for a parent?
So the NICU is full of terrifying sounds, beeps, lights, completely overwhelming place for any human, but a new mother who's never had a baby at all, and had this picture of, bringing these beautiful children home and having this birthing experience that you imagine from when you're a kid, it turned into such a traumatic experience instead. On the day that it was supposed to be the best day of your life, ends up being one of the most terrifying days. So walking into the NICU for the first time, I would say, was completely overwhelming and terrifying, all while we were just so excited to meet our 3 beautiful sons, Silas, Cooper, and Owen. But 174 days there, you become accustomed to those medical beeps and the medical team, the medical jargon. You become a part of a medical team instead of going home and learning how to be new parents. You're now learning how to be a part of this incredibly elite medical team. Luckily, we were embraced in that team, and our decisions mattered. And we showed up every day for those boys and helped to advocate for them from the beginning.
Any parent listening right now, the loss of a child is the nightmare. It's the nightmare. And so it's unimaginable, unthinkable. You lost 2. How do you even begin to process that grief? And then you're processing that grief while still taking care of Owen, and then your mental health. How are you balancing all that?
Yeah. Our worst nightmare happened 2 days after the boys were born when Cooper, we got a call that Cooper was not doing well, and we lost him that night, just after 2 days of being born. And then they kind of whisk away your child. You have to say your goodbyes. And then 8 days later, we had to do the same thing with Silas. So all the while, our son Owen is also fighting for his life. So saying goodbye to your child is one thing that I never imagined having to do, and having such little time with them is something that I will always, always regret. How did we show up? I will never forget walking in the day after Cooper passed away, holding Matt's hand and walking in those doors. And we were embraced by a nursery full of incredible human beings that supported us and helped us navigate the next step with both of our other living sons. And then doing it all over again for Silas is an experience you never want to have to compare. How did I show up every day? I think part of, I have a lot of friends who have lost babies and they don't have another child to help them survive. And so Owen was, as hard as it was to show up for him every day, he was also my saving grace, in the sense that you had no choice. People often say to me, I don't know how you do it. Every day in the NICU, someone was like, I don't know how you wake up every day and show up every day. And I always said to them, I have no choice. My choice is to be here for my son. And he is our saving grace in that we showed up every single day, took it one step at a time, one medical diagnosis at a time, one surgery at a time. And I don't know that we truly were able to process our losses in the moment.
That's got to feel like, losing one child and then you're like, I'm doing it again, like ripping a wound. It's a wound already. Now you're digging deeper and you're like, I couldn't help but think, if I were in your shoes, am I going to lose my third child? Like, you probably were thinking something like, please God, don't take away my third child. It's like a bartering, like, God, please don't do this.
Every single day. After Cooper died, Matt and I talked about how we would honor him, and we said let's plant a tree, let's do something to remember him. And Matt looked at me and said, I just hope we don't have to plant two. And because Silas wasn't doing well from that moment on. And then you imagine the worst every single step of the way with Owen. And circled the drain multiple times, of us getting phone calls at 2 a.m., rushing into the hospital. He's not doing well, all the way up until he got his tracheostomy surgery and we were able to start talking about going home on a trach event.
That had to be a moment, and I actually want to talk about that. It's a great segue because, correct me if I'm wrong, but by just 3.5 years old, Owen had endured multiple brain surgeries.
Yep.
And a tracheal reconstruction, and then after that, Jess, a cancer diagnosis. So what was the time frame between that, the trach, all that stuff, and then coming home, and then the cancer? And so tell me how you mustered that strength up, and you were getting through it, and again, showed up for yourself as well.
Let me give you just a quick timeline. He came home after 6 months in the NICU, which is 174 days. Mm-hmm. He came home on a ventilator, a trach. He had had 3 brain surgeries. He had had 1 brain surgery and a huge surgery to put the trach in so that he could breathe at home and we could get him home. We then had 3 years at home with him. During that time, a micropreemie has incredible immunocompromise, and so we lived a life of isolation. We were just starting to kind of come out of that isolation and integrate him, and COVID hit. And so then we had, and honestly, what happened during COVID for me is everybody understood my life. Everybody understood what it was like to have to wash your hands every single time you go in and out of a building or a room, and protect everyone's germs, because that's what my life was with Owen for 3 years. But we lived an incredible life of isolation. Nobody could watch him other than myself and or Matt. And finally get to the day where, after having 2 brain surgeries, push off this moment of getting this trach out, where he was going to be able to bathe He was going to be able to swim. He was going to be able to do all these things. We get there. He has a successful surgery. One time in his life where he actually followed the book to the T. We get this surgery. We start living life. He goes to preschool. I'm like, oh my God, here comes life, right? Here comes life. And he starts acting. He's a happy kid all throughout this. This kid is the most resilient and happy child. And he started acting weird and angry and frustrated, and I thought it was just him being 3, but he was started to wanting to be carried. He was crying in the middle of the night, and we just knew something wasn't right. So there comes the cancer diagnosis, when you just think you're about to start living, and it just gets completely ripped away. And everybody that knew his journey up until that point walked into the room and was like, what the I don't know if I can swear here, but what the
yeah, because
if they didn't say that, they didn't know Owen's journey, right? And so it was a matter of everybody being angry, all these people who had kept him alive, myself and Matt included. What the hell has just happened in our life? How did we take the next step in taking care of him? It was all over again. It was just, we had no choice. And honestly, the NICU journey taught Matt and I how to advocate the hell out of for our son. And honestly, pediatric oncology, you'd think it's just this like written book of like, he has this diagnosis, you're going to get this treatment, you're going to follow this plan. And unfortunately, it's not. It's a lot of, this is your choice and this is your choice. And so because we had to show up for him so much as a small 1-pound baby, and that growth period during the NICU made us the most fierce advocates for our son, that I would say biggest lessons learned I could have ever done. How did I mentally stay sane during the NICU, the isolation, and cancer? I truly believe that wellness and exercise and routine is saving grace in my world. And if I didn't have those things to focus on, one or two things to focus on outside of him and my identity around him being a medically complex kiddo, like the only thing I could focus on was this morning routine where I would get up every morning and I would meditate, I would write a gratitude list, and I would exercise, and I'd be ready to go and take care of my kid.
Jessica, I was thinking, I feel like in a weird way that you're in a club that you didn't want to be in, first of all, with the NICU, because you're seeing probably the same people. You guys are all, in there with your children. And then you're moved into another club that nobody wants to be in with a family member that has a cancer diagnosis. I feel like, just from what you're saying, is that NICU part set you up and prepared you for how to advococate.
100%.
Because some people don't even know how to navigate that.
No, and it's so true. And I looked at my team and I said, I feel bad for the families who didn't have this in their background. Like, they come into this not knowing what to ask or that they can ask questions. Mm-hmm. And that was that was my job. That was my job every single day, was to come in, ask questions, and advocate for how to help him be the happiest and healthy that he could be.
So speaking of the happiest and healthiest he could be, is he around?
Yes, he is. Can I go get him?
Yes, please. We just see the little cutie. Buddy, I can't wait. He is the best. Okay. You're going to look at his little smile. He has the best dimples.
Oh, it's like dark brown like mine.
Oh, is it? Hey, buddy. Hey, Owen.
Hi,
Owen.
Say hi. That's on Nikki. That's on Nikki. This is on Nicole right here.
Do you remember? You wrote me. You were on camera one time and wished me happy birthday. Yeah. I didn't get my birthday wish this year, August, Owen.
What do you say? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Oh, buddy. Owen.
Can she ask you questions?
Well, I would love to ask him. Owen, what are some... Listen, Nikki. Owen, I have a question. When you were in the hospital, what do you remember about the hospital, and what was the coolest part about it?
I like playing in the playroom.
You love playing in the playroom.
Fun.
Oh,
if there wasn't a playroom, we wouldn't know what to do, would we?
Yeah.
That was a magical piece of the hospital, the playroom.
What was your favorite part in the playroom? Just running around?
I like the toys.
Mm-hmm.
The toys. Which toy?
The cars.
The cars.
Yeah, that's cool. I have a kid who's 10 years old and he loves cars. What do you so now that you're even healthier and you're strong and you're tall and you're getting bigger, what are some fun things you like to do now?
I like to go outside and play recess.
Fun.
This is your favorite subject. What did you just do before we started this?
Screen
Oh,
time.
besides screen time.
Oh, screen.
Uh-oh. There we go. Before screen time. Yeah, we're just going to mess with all the buttons.
That's a kid. You had the best smile, buddy.
You do.
I want to see you. You all need to come visit.
I didn't even
All
think
boys
about
love recess. It's
I didn't even think. What about, did you go swimming?
Yeah.
Swimming?
He's like, I still need to go run more. I need to swim,
No.
run. Okay, I know you have your hands full. You can take it back. I just wanted to. I had to see it a little bit.
Bye to the girls.
Bye, Owen.
You say bye.
Love you, Owen. Oh my god, he's so cute.
Well, since we've been talking, September's, of course, NICU Awareness Month and Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. What do you wish more people knew about, or what did they need to know to understand people's journeys and how we can support families going through either of these processes?
I think that everyone, what the NICU, with the loss of my boys, what the NICU and then childhood cancer really taught me is that motherhood, fatherhood, parenting looks different to everybody. Be kind to each other and all the parents out there, because you don't know what they've been through. And you don't know what journey they're on currently. And then I think what my Silas and Cooper always remind me of is that it sounds cliche, but time is precious.
Oh.
We celebrate milestones as a medical family, but it's not just milestones. It's more the small moments of just watching him read or watching him play in the woods. So embrace those small moments. Be grateful, even when life is hard. Parenting's hard, no matter what, but try to be grateful and be kind to each other.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, that is so true. I mean, not to be a Debbie Downer, but you really never know when your last moment is us or anybody else. And the fact that you're embracing that and you learn that, and the thing is, a lot of people can take something that happened to them and they can be bitter and angry and continue that down that cycle and be, and not use it for good. And we had that conversation last week with somebody else who was he had addiction problems and things like that, but he turned it into good. And I love that you took everything about what was not ideal and you're a powerhouse. You really are. And my last question is going to be like, what advice would you give? I mean, it can be to parents, it can be to anyone listening besides, anybody with a special situation, someone who has a child, whether it's a special needs, like you have the autism and you have wheelchair bound children. Anything in particular you'd like to share about that, or any shout outs of the hospital, anything, last words that you'd like to say and share with us?
Yeah, I think being, like I spoke about earlier, being your child's number one advocate and being a part of their team, whether that's on their school IEP, making their school IEP, or a medical team showing up every day for rounds or every day for that family meeting. Show up so that you're your child's expert, not them. Not everybody else that thinks that they are because they have a degree in this or that. You are their expert and you are their best advocate, and be fierce about it. No, and don't care if anybody is going to judge that or whatnot. You be you, and you be the strongest version of you for that child.
You need to be a speaker. Jess, thank you for sharing. Just thank you for sharing this honest and powerful story. And I love that you don't sugarcoat things. You don't pretend everything's just okay. And that's the best part about this is it's real, it's raw. And you wake up every single day. It sounds like, and before you chose to fight, you chose to advocate, even in the face of heartbreak. And we want to thank Owen for joining us. He's such a warrior. I'm cheering him on. We're all cheering him on. For our listeners, as we recognize NICU Awareness Month and Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, may this story remind us to stand alongside these families who are walking these journeys, and to just never underestimate the power of hope. Owen is living proof of that. And Jess, your story will stay with us. And Owen, his fight and his joy are just changing the world one smile at a time. So
Yeah,
anyway.
one smile at a time. Thank
Really
you so much. Thank you for this opportunity, ladies. You're doing amazing things. Keep it up.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And until then, be chatty.
Stay batty. See ya. Bye.